The sterile white corridor of the Alliance Medical Station hummed with the quiet efficiency of automated systems. But outside room 847, silence held a different quality, tense, watchful, dangerous. Tavik stood at the door, his massive frame filling the entryway. His fur, once soft gray, now bore the scars of plasma burns that had turned patches to mottled silver. His claws, designed by evolution for climbing trees on his homeworld, now scraped audibly against the metal floor whenever someone approached too quickly. At 7 feet tall, the young Kurlathi male was an imposing sight. His ears swiveled constantly, tracking every sound in the hallway. "You need to move," the station administrator said for the third time that hour. Her blue skin flushed deeper with frustration. "Hospital regulations clearly state." "No." Tavik's voice rumbled deep in his chest, the translator rendering his growl into flat galactic standard. Inside the room, Dr. Mara Lin lay unconscious, her small human frame swallowed by medical equipment. Bandages covered 70% of her body. The machines beeped steadily, measuring a heartbeat that had no right to still be beating. 3 months ago, Tavik had been a cub barely past adolescence by Kurlathi standards, when the Zelthran swarm had descended upon the colony world of Karis 9. The insectoid horrors had swept through settlements like a plague, their only objective to consume and expand. Tavik's family had been in the outer farms when the attack began. He remembered the screaming, the chittering of 1,000 Zelthran mandibles, the smell of burning crops and flesh, and he remembered Dr. Mara Lin. She had appeared like something from a fever dream, a tiny alien in blast armor too big for her frame, carrying a plasma rifle designed for species twice her size. She'd found Tavik and 17 other Kurlathi cubs, huddled in a burning storage facility, paralyzed with terror. "Move!" she'd shouted, her voice sharp enough to cut through their panic. "I didn't cross 3 sectors to watch you die here." What followed was a nightmare journey through hostile territory. Dr. Lin, a xenobiologist, not a soldier, had somehow guided them through 12 kilometers of Zelthran-infested jungle. She'd carried the youngest cubs when they couldn't run anymore. She'd set traps with farming equipment. She'd stood between them and death, more times than Tavik could count. On the 3rd day, when a Zelthran warrior had cornered them at a collapsed bridge, she'd done something that defied all Kurlathi understanding of sacrifice. She'd thrown herself at the creature, a human weighing barely 60 kilos against a monster massing 300, and fought it with nothing but a vibroblade and pure fury. She'd killed it. Somehow, but not before taking injuries that should have been fatal. The Alliance military had arrived hours later, extracting the cubs and their broken protector. Tavik had watched them load Dr. Lin onto a medical shuttle, her blood so startlingly red, staining everything. "She'll live," a medic had assured him. "Humans are surprisingly durable." Nut. Now, 3 months later, Tavik understood something the galaxy was still learning. Humans weren't just durable. They were insane. Beautifully, terrifyingly insane. "You don't understand," the administrator tried again. "Security protocols require—" "I understand perfectly." Another voice joined the conversation. Smaller than Tavik, but no less determined. A young female Kurlathi approached. Her name was Shira, one of the other survivors. Behind her came 4 more, Jorun, Kessa, Pravix, and Little Den. No longer so little. "Dr. Lin stood between us and death," Shira continued. "Now we stand between her and harm. This is the Kurlathi way. This is a hospital, not a—" "She made us a pack?" Tavik interrupted, his amber eyes fixed on the administrator. "Do you know what that means? In the jungle, when we had nothing, no weapons, no shelter, no hope, she gave us purpose. She made us move when we wanted to curl up and die. She taught us to fight when we only knew fear." His claws scraped the floor again. "Every human thinks they're soft. They see themselves as weak because they have no fur, no natural weapons, no environmental armor. But Dr. Lin showed us the truth. And what truth is that?" The administrator's voice had softened slightly. "That humans don't need claws," Tavik said quietly. "Because when they love something, they become the weapon. Inside the room, a monitor began beeping faster. The cubs tensed as one, ears forward, bodies coiled to spring. The door slid open. A medical drone floated out, followed by the head physician, a elderly Mentari, with kind, multifaceted eyes. "She's waking up," the physician announced. Tavik's heart double-chambered like all Kurlathi hammered against his ribs. "Can we?" "One at a time, and only for a moment." The physician's mandibles clicked in what might have been a smile. "Though I suspect she'll want to see you." "Tavik, she's been saying your name." The big Kurlathi male ducked through the doorway, suddenly feeling like a cub again. The room was dim, lit only by the soft glow of medical equipment. Dr. Lin lay propped against pillows, her dark eyes half open, her face still pale beneath its healing burns. "Tavik?" Her voice was a croak, barely audible. "I'm here, doctor." He approached carefully, mindful of the tubes and wires. "We're all here. The others?" Worry creased her forehead. "The cubs. Safe. Because of you." Tavik reached out, hesitated, then gently placed one massive paw over her small hand. "We're not cubs anymore. Dr. Lin, you taught us to survive, to fight, to protect what matters." A weak smile touched her lips. "I was just trying not to lose anyone." "You didn't." Tavik's voice cracked. "You saved us all, and now it's our turn." "Your turn? To make sure you heal. To stand guard. To be the weapon if anyone threatens you." His claws flexed involuntarily. "You made us a pack. That doesn't end because the war is over. To make sure you heal." Tears welled in her eyes, that strange human response to emotion. "You kids should be home, with your families. You are family." Tavik said it simply, stating a fact as obvious as gravity. "The galaxy doesn't understand humans yet. They think you're weak because you're small. They don't know what we know." "What's that?" "That size doesn't matter when you have the heart to stand between children and monsters." Tavik squeezed her hand gently. "Rest. Doctor. Heal. We'll be right outside. Always." As he turned to leave, her voice stopped him. "Tavik? Thank you. For staying." He looked back at the small human who'd saved his life, who'd taught him that courage came in unexpected packages, who'd shown him that sometimes the fiercest warriors were the ones who fought for others rather than themselves. "No, doctor," he rumbled softly. "Thank you for showing us what it means to be human." Outside the room, 5 more Kurlathi waited. Together, they would guard this door. Together, they would ensure that the woman who'd given everything to save them would have the peace to heal. The galaxy was still learning about humanity, but Tavik and his pack already knew. Humans might not have claws or fangs or armor, but they had something far more dangerous: the absolute refusal to abandon those who depended on them. And that, Tavik thought as he resumed his post, was the most terrifying weapon in the universe.